Hello. Welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. I don't often come on a Friday afternoon to share a project with you. However, this afternoon I want to do that so that I can share this card with you. I've had it here in my stash waiting to do, and I really wanted to share it with you. I'm just styling up my other device while I'm talking to you so that I can make sure I can see what you see. Okay, there we are. I can see all of the things now. Make sure I can see what you see and make sure I'm putting it all in the right place. Okay, so it's another card in my series of the beautiful butterfly cards. We did 3 cards in our class. There's another one to come as well. And this card is all about showing you the amazingness of the embossing folder, the hybrid embossing folder. Okay, let's get started. I've once again used a monochromatic design and monochromatic color scheme for my card, and let me show you which card inspired this one for you. Here we go. So I used the catalogue as my starting point, and it was this card here that inspired this card here. So a totally different color scheme, but I've done the same sort of detail with the embossed butterfly and the embossed background and the sponging on the butterfly to create that lovely multicolored ombre effect. And the colors I've chosen to use on my card is lemon lolly, a bit of peach pie, and also some pumpkin pie for the detail there of my butterfly. Okay, let's get started. It's been quite warm today and I've only dashed in the door just now, ready to do this for you. So I'm just starting to put the fan on, so I'm starting to cool down a little. Okay, there's my card base. I don't need to do anything with that. I have 2 pieces of peach pie, 2 pieces of basic white, 1 for inside, 1 for outside. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I'll emboss my peach pie piece, and this is just going in the background, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, or whether it's leveled up or anything. So this is a 3D embossing folder, so all I need on the top of that is my embossing platform here. So I'll just pop that over the top, run that through my machine, just over here. Okay, and when you pull it out, you get that beautiful detail on the folder, the peach pie folder. Isn't that lovely? These 3D embossing folders give you a lovely deep image, which is really nice. Okay, now the other exciting thing about this embossing folder is that it's a hybrid embossing folder, which means it coordinates perfectly with the stamp set. So when you put in, and the other little butterflies will do the same too probably, you put in this die, it just locks into place. Now I'll put my cardstock over the top. There we go. Okay, so there. Once again, this is exactly the same as before. I just have to put it on the base platform with the green embossing platform over the top. And that goes through no problems at all, even with that die on it as well. Okay, so when you pull it apart, then you've got the die has cut out for you the beautiful butterfly exactly in the frame. Okay, and then we've got this little window as well that we're going to use as a feature on our card. All right, and just before I'm finished doing my embossing with the embossing folder, I'm going to use the other piece of embossed basic white to emboss part of it at the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to make a little bit of features. So this is, instead of having a little bit of designer series paper or some stamping inside my card, I'm just going to emboss the bottom of my piece of basic white cardstock. And this time, when I put it into my emboss machine, I will line up my folder with the edge of my platform like this, line it right up on the edge of my platform so it overhangs, and put my embossing platform over the top. Can you see how that all works there? And then when I run it through, oops, I just made that crooked. So straighten that up, Julia. Pop that back over the top. Don't bump anything. And run it through my machine like that. And then because I've done it that way, I don't have any bends or pressure on the basic white cardstock from when it's leaning on the platform. Okay, so there we go. All the embossing's done, all my die cutting's done, so I can pop them out of the way. And I need to get, there's only one stamp I'm using in this stamp set this time. Look at all those gorgeous butterflies. See, these they all work so nicely together. So these ones have dies that cut them out, which is great. Okay, now my happy birthday, to line it up properly, I'm going to use my grid here, line up my stamp so I can see. Excuse me if my head's in the way. And then just pop that on my block so that's nice and straight. And while I've got that, I can stamp it with my pumpkin pie. And these lovely skinny stamps are a great way to use up scraps when you've got, you know, little bits and pieces left over from cutting cardstock. There we go. Happy birthday. That's all my stamping done. However, I do need this ink open because I'm going to do some lovely colouring. Now, I had a piece of scrap paper here earlier today. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. Okay, just going to use a bit of scrap paper because I will be using a fair bit of ink. So, with my pumpkin pie ink, I'm going to add ink to the bottom half of my butterfly. Now, the more ink I want, the harder I press. And because I've embossed this, it picks up that lovely detail. When you do embossing on surfaces, it is nice to add a bit of ink to pick up the detail of your embossed images. It just, because of the different variations in height, shows up very nicely. And then for the top half of my butterfly, I'm going to use peach pie, pumpkin pie and peach pie. And you know we have another pie in our colour collection too, that is pecan pie. It's a pie card. Okay, and I'm just doing this one very, very softly because I want it quite a light colour and blending and overlapping with the pumpkin pie so that it just flows on together. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit darker down here near where the join is. Okay, there we go. There's my butterfly done. Isn't she pretty? Pretty, pretty butterfly. Now, while I've got my peach pie in my hands, I'm also going to add a little bit of colour to the other butterflies on my embossing because, as I said, I think it shows up the embossing really nicely. Now, I'm not re-inking, as you can see, but I'm just using what's already on the brush because there really is a lot of ink left on the brush after you've finished using it. If you've ever tried washing out an blending brush, you'll know that there's always lots and lots of ink. And then a little bit of ink on the butterflies here as well, just to show them up nicely. There we go. And that's all of my inking and colouring done. Okay, now we can pop this card together. I'll just pop this one over here so I can see what's going on. Got my happy birthday there. Okay, card base. Let's do the inside first, shall we? I'll put my peach pie. Isn't the lemon lolly and the peach pie a pretty combination? Sort of reminds me of baby clothes in a way. Okay, just add that in there. And then to pick up that peach pie colour and also to give a nice edge to my embossed panel, I'm going to add a bit of peach pie ribbon, the grosgrain ribbon. Okay, and I'll pop a little bit of seal on either side. I like to, as much as possible, just put adhesive behind my, there's no right way or wrong way, is there? I just like to put a little bit of adhesive on the back rather than underneath my ribbon. Sometimes the adhesive shows through. I'm not a huge fan of how that looks. Okay, here we go. And add extra adhesion just over the top of that ribbon flap there. There we go, and pop you there. All right, now for the front. From memory, when we did this class, this piece was too big to put on an angle. Let's have a look. I might actually trim it down a bit. So I'm just going to take a 1/2 centimetre off both sides there. Line up in my trimmer and just take off 1/2 centimetre off the long side and the short side. There we go. Now that looks a little bit better. Okay, just put some seal on the back of that one. And tilt that at an angle. And then this one here, you look at that, lines up the butterfly just nicely. I'm going to pop it offset a little bit and add it on with dimensionals. Okay, trying to add the dimensionals where I think would be weak points on the actual butterfly, okay, where it dips in a little bit, as well as the corners. Have I got enough room to pop one there? There we go. Okay. Oops. And take all of those off. Offset my butterfly a bit. Okay, and then this one here. Oh, I haven't got another bit of, have I got another bit of orange in my, no I don't. I've missed out on my body. I have to die cut a body for my butterfly. So I'm only putting dimensionals in the center of the butterfly there because I want the wings to lift up a bit, look like she's fluttering. Okay, here we are. And I'm going to offset you a little bit so that we can see the peach pie in the background. There we go. All right, and I have to, here's the dies. Here's the dies. So you have 3 choices of body sizes. And this is the largest body size. I have to go and get a quick bit of pumpkin pie. Here we go. A little bit of pumpkin pie. Pop that on the body. And because I'm die cutting this time, I need to do a platform, the die adapter, and the 2 cutting plates. Run that through. And we have, hopefully, a beautiful butterfly body. And I'll just use my take your pick tool to pop you out. There we are. And a little bit of glue to stick my body together. Here we are. There we are. Only need a tiny bit. Actually, if I look at mine on my card there, I've also added colour to it. Let's see if I can add colour with it in midair. I don't want to get my fingers all sticky with the glue. But I do need to add the colour. Rightio. And stick the body on. There we are. Whoops. There she goes. And the happy birthday, let's stick that on with, not that one. Am I going to see that? Nope, luckily. I thought for a minute I'd use an edge piece, but I might use the edge piece for the other part. There we go. Just cut that so I don't have to cut the adhesive with my scissors. And stick my happy birthday across the middle. Now this way, this happy birthday is the way it was on the card in the catalogue, I believe. And the last thing is some sparkle. You have to have sparkle. Now these are the purple adhesive backed free sequins from Celebration. And you wouldn't initially think of them going so beautifully with a card using pumpkin pie and peach pie, but these white ones here work an absolute treat. So I'm just going to put a scattering of them all over my card around our beautiful butterfly. There you go. There she is, finished, embellished on the inside and on the front, the beautiful butterfly. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. My regular time is on a Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so hopefully you can join me then. Bye.